Hello, and welcome to day 16 of getting connected to your inner voice. I'm Stacy. Thanks for coming by, sticking with me. 16 days, over 2 weeks. It's really quite something. I hope that you are getting something out of this. I know I am, so I'm just so excited to be here and to show up every day and create a new habit. So that's what I'm doing. And I hope that you are doing the same. We're creating new habits. The end of the year is coming, and that means the beginning of the year is coming, and all those resolutions that I never set because I don't know, it's a false timeline. So you create your own timeline and you set your goals when you want to set your goals. So that's my opinion on that. But the other day we were talking about connecting to your emotions. I talked about getting connected to your joy, and then I brought in a little bit about emotion and how it can be a compass, and it is your compass. Are you going in the right direction? And to pay attention to your emotions. And it's I wouldn't say very easy, but it's easier to follow your light emotions, your quote, good emotions, happiness and joy and laughter and all the frivolity that one can have in their lives. And that is much easier to express than the darker side, than the what people would say are bad emotions, which they are not. Anger, sadness, the opposite of all of the frivolity, right? That you can be very heavy with emotion for so many reasons in the world right now, so many reasons. So I was thinking about anger, and I wore my red scarf because this is about connecting to your anger. And do you have a good way to do that? Do you have a good way to express it, to understand it, to acknowledge it and know that that is what you're feeling? Because it used to be for women, but now it's really for everybody. There's been a push down of anger, like a suppression of anger. And it's an important emotion. It's a huge compass point in your body. And so if you don't have, one, a way to acknowledge that that's even what it is, and then two, a way to get it out, it gets pushed down into your system, into your body, into your cells, into all the nooks and crannies and the places that, we think, oh, we'll deal with it later. And then later never comes, and you have all of this stuck energy, all of this stuck emotion, unprocessed. And it's just sitting there in your energy field, waiting for the jerk that cuts you off on the highway, because he's like zipping in and out. And that's a thing. That's like a thing every day now, is like the zipping in and out on the highway. And you just want to smash him with your car, right? I've had that multiple times in the last few months. I wanted to just ram the guy in front of me with my car and think about the consequences later, but that's not going to be any good. That's not going to do us any good to be that way. So there needs to be a way to get that anger that you were feeling 12 hours ago, 12 days ago, 12 years ago out. Right. A few years back, I was struggling with depression. It was probably 5 years ago. And I filled a prescription. I went to see someone and I filled a prescription because I couldn't handle the depression that I was feeling, and the hopelessness in my life. And then I had my prescription in hand, and then that following weekend, I went to a workshop that was where we were working through emotion, and there was a certain exercise that we did that released this rage that I had inside me for a very long time. And it was amazing. It was an amazing release. And it also showed me that I didn't need that medication. I'm not saying this is you, this is my personal story. I didn't need that medication. What I needed was to acknowledge the anger that had been inside me for so long. And once I did, and once I gave it a voice and released it, the depression that I was feeling lessened. I'm not saying it was completely gone, but it lessened to a point where the knots in my energy field were starting to slowly unfurl and letting me live, right? Because when you are tied down with such repressed emotion in yourself, you shrink yourself down really small. And I was going through the Creation Codes deck to see if there was a card that related to this topic, and there really isn't specifically. Like, there's a joy card for sure, but there isn't an anger card. But what did resonate with me, which I think I've already done in this series, is the power card. I've already done this. I think it was like day 2 or 3, but you give your power, you feel powerless when you have anger and you have no one to direct it to. And so it gets bottled up, just like I said before. And that's when all of the road rage happens, and that's when people blow their tops. And it happens a lot to young men because of the way that society is warping what young men are supposed to look like right now. There's a lot of confusion, and there's anger over that confusion. And it's very hard to be able to process that as an adult, let alone process it as a teen, as a young person, because where are the role models? Where, and even if we talk to our kids as parents as they grow into being teens, they don't want to hear from their parents. They don't want to take advice. They just want to tune you out. And so it's a very complex situation where there really aren't mentors to show and to emulate how to express anger in a healthy way, yet they don't want to hear it from their parents. So I'd love to know from you if you have any suggestions about that, because anger is an important compass point in your life. It tells you so much about the situation you're in. It tells you so much about the relationship between whoever it is that you're interacting with. It is vital. It's vital. It is not a bad emotion. It is vital for you to set your boundaries and claim your personal power. Anger is so tied up in your personal power, and when we aren't allowed to express it properly, we feel powerless, and then so many things unravel from there, and not necessarily in a good way. So what I do when I am angry, I do my deep breathing, I ask for divine guidance, and I exercise. Exercise is a wonderful release for anger. And even hot yoga, which I've been doing, not the slow yoga, because slow yoga, you'll just want to lose your mind if you're trying to release anger. Sweating is a wonderful way to release and picture yourself and envision yourself releasing the anger through your pores, because you are releasing so much in your sweat. You're releasing stress, you're releasing toxins, you're releasing your anger, and you can amplify that by setting that intention beforehand that you are releasing this thing that you feel is holding you back or has made you upset. You're releasing it. And the other way to do it is through tears, right? So it's all the water, right? It's the water through sweat. It's the water through tears. that getting it out, you have to express it, whether it's in behind a closed door and you scream your head off, you punch a pillow, you take a boxing class, like all of these things are wonderful. The physical release, the physical exertion to release that anger is so huge, and you will feel so exhausted afterwards, but you will have released it and you will be healthier for it. You will be healthier for releasing it. If you can just do something physical to exhaustion, it is fabulously therapeutic in the heat. I would suggest in like a heated, not too heated, but a heated environment of temperature where you can really sweat out your emotions. It does really work. Cold therapy is not the thing. The heat, because that's what we say, we get heated when we're angry. We get heated, right? And so what do you do with that? You release it and just go with that heat and release the anger in a healthy way. So we are connecting to our anger. It's important. It's part of our internal compass. It's part of our voice. It helps us set our boundaries, and you will be a healthier person for it. And then you'll be able to go out into the world and express yourself authentically, and you will have more patience with the crap that gets thrown at you in the external world. You will have more patience, and we could all use a little more patience. So I hope that resonated with you. I wish you a great rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Be well.